Speaker, between 2015 to 2023, more than 19 trillion naira was spent on security and security-related matters in Nigeria. Whereas we have an alternative.
Step up to end banditry and kidnappings. House of Representatives urges security agents.
I urge all stakeholders, including government officials, community leaders, and non-governmental organizations, to work hand in hand to support local farmers to ensure food security in our communities and the nation at large.
First Lady's Renewed Hope Initiative, a train, makes a stop in Uyo, inaugurates Women Agricultural Program for South Zone.
Based on the predictions, various recommendations have been made as preparedness and mitigative actions to be taken by relevant stakeholders.
2024 flood prediction, emergency responders across Nigeria perfect strategies to mitigate possible impacts. Hello and welcome to the Network News. I am Olajide Bello. Joining me from Lagos is Adeola Komiakere, and Benny Adams is standing by for the business news segment. Remember, you can watch this broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen. And let's start from the Red Chambers. Bills seeking to grant enforcement powers to the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission has passed second reading. The bill, which is for concurrence from the House of Representatives, is for repeal and reenactment targeted at strengthening the Commission in discharging its duties of monitoring of accruals and disbursement of revenue from the Federation account. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports on these and other considerations at plenary.
The bill, upon being presented for second reading, faced some opposition, but was passed after clarifications.
I so suggest that you allow us have a copy of this bill, go through the details, page by page, section by section.
I thought the bill was just to give the bill the Commission additional powers, but it's beyond that.
It's a very tricky situation here. We have to look at the powers that have been granted to this commission under the Constitution.
Other bills passed at second reading include the National Institute for Educational Planning and Administration Establishments Bill from Senator Omar Sadiq, and bill to establish Federal University of Applied Sciences, Manchok, Kaduna State, sponsored by Senator Sunday Katung.
The objectives of the Institute is to promote the study, the practice of educational planning and administration in Nigeria.
No investment in education of a nation is too much.
To provide courses of instruction and training and research in applied sciences, and provide technicians and such skilled personnel required for related industries.
Senate has made an urgent call for the completion of Kano-Maiduguri Road.
Mr. President, even in the spirit of inclusivity, all other roads in Nigeria should be suspended for now to give attention to that road first.
This chamber should direct the Senate Committee on Works to go and inspect the road for a critical assessment of the situation.
Action should be taken immediately to save life. And it's a very, very important role because the economic benefits we derive from applying that road.
The Red Chamber has set up an ad hoc committee to investigate the stalled completion of Abuja Centenary City.
There is ambiguity in regulatory and implementation.
A lot of money has been injected into that project. And as it is today, for more than 10 years, the project remains abandoned.
Senate has expressed displeasure with some aspects of the renovated chamber and hopes for quick adjustments.
This looks more like a conference room. It's supposed to be a chamber.
Federal Capital Development Authority that renovated it. We shall discuss in future about the need for us to have proper autonomy for the National Assembly, because after 25 years of democracy, the National Assembly should be able to own a property or own a chamber.
The lawmakers, following a motion from Senator Onawu, commiserated with the people of some parts of Nasarawa State over the rainstorm that wreaked havoc on some communities, leading to loss of lives and property. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
The House of Representatives has called for more proactive steps from the security agencies towards addressing cases of banditry and kidnappings in parts of the country. At Tuesday's plenary, lawmakers urged the Inspector General of Police to step up surveillance and intelligence gathering in high-risk states to nip insecurity in the board. National Assembly correspondent Mitari when reports on these and other deliberations at plenary.
In separate motions of urgent public importance, lawmakers condemned armed attacks on Ambe community in Kaduna State and parts of Uzwani local government area in Enugu State.
Concerned that the criminal elements have continued these serial kidnappings and killings despite presence of 3 police divisions in the local government area, which have obviously been overstretched.
The youth of the area summoned courage, apprehend one of the gunmen with his motorcycle and gun, who was later handed over to the soldiers on special duty at Gwantu.
Mr. Speaker, between 2015 to 2023, more than 19 trillion naira was spent on security and security-related matters in Nigeria. Whereas we have an alternative where we can bring in mercenaries.
We should look at all our resolution that has to do with insecurity, all the resolutions. Let us put them together and begin to ensure compliance with.
The House also mandated its Committee on Navy to investigate the death of one Richard Onumegbu, a civil servant in Abia State who was allegedly tortured to death by men of the Nigerian Navy over a civil dispute.
Realizing that this is the second time my constituent is being killed unconditionally by the Nigerian Navy in the past 3 months.
Meanwhile, the House has issued a 14-day ultimatum to the nation's cement manufacturers to appear before it or face legislative sanctions. This follows the absence of the manufacturers at a joint investigative hearing on the arbitrary increase in the price of cement in Nigeria.
This forum is not a witch hunt. It shouldn't be used as a platform to target any particular stakeholder.
Lawmakers promised to enact laws that will checkmate excessive hike in the price of commodities. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has appealed to the Academic Staff Union of University of Abuja and the management to find a common ground to end the ongoing strike in the institution. At an investigative hearing, the House Committee on University Education maintained that the failed engagements forwarded by ASU will be addressed. The National Assembly correspondent Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports.
The Academic Staff Union, University of Abuja branch, embarked on strike to press for their demands. This prompted the committee to investigate the cause of the industrial action. This meeting is to resolve amicably the issues in contention. On its part, ASU highlight its grievances to include advertorial of the post of the Vice-Chancellor, appointment of deans of faculties, recruitment of staff, among other alleged anomalies.
In spite of the branch ESCO interaction and zonal visitation of ASU to the Vice-Chancellor on the same concern, he remains non-responsive.
The regulation of the university gave the Vice-Chancellor certain powers in the process of employment. There's nothing that is done outside the regulations of the university.
Please do suspend the strike while we look into the issues.
Assuming up to the end of June, the council of the university have not been reconstituted, what will happen? Do we sit down, watch, then appoint one of the DVCs? I don't know whether the DVCs also, I don't know whether their tenure also will be expiring at the same time with the Vice-Chancellor.
The Committee on Tertiary Education thereafter asked Uni Abuja ASU and the university management to go back to the negotiation table and resolve contending issues to report back progress within 1 week. From the National Assembly, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
And away from the National Assembly, Benue State government has flagged off the first phase of training for 1,949 teachers identified as trainable based on a competency test conducted earlier by the state government. The flag of occasion, which was held at Wakabi College of Education in Biu local government area, signifies a crucial advancement in enhancing the educational standard within the state. Muhammad Goni reports.
Out of the 15,823 teachers who undertook the competency test, 5,257 passed, 6,227 were deemed trainable despite performing below the required pass mark, and 4,339 were identified as untrainable. The program includes a 3-month sandwich program for 1,884 beneficiaries at the College of Education Wakabiu and Umar Ibn Ibrahim College of Education, Science and Technology Bama, while 846 teachers without tertiary qualifications will undergo full-time NC program.
The primary objective of this training initiative is to tackle long-standing issues surrounding remuneration, retention, and most importantly, the competency of teachers in accordance with national standards. Participants will receive this training free of charge, along with a monthly stipend of 30,000 naira, in addition to their regular salaries.
Governor Bagana Umar Azlim said the training, which receives a budgetary allocation of 1 billion naira, will eventually benefit 2,730 teachers. Governor Azlim emphasized that the initiative is aimed at uplifting the standard of education in Borno State.
The problem facing basic education in our states escalated since the discontinuation of direct absorption of primary school teachers from their respective teachers' colleges.
State NUT Chairman Comrade Zali Audu Garba praised the significant progress observed in human and infrastructural development within the education sector under Governor Zalim's leadership. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, says it has released additional 531 results, taking the total of results released to 1,842, while it continues the screening of over 64,000 results withheld. In a statement by the head of Public Affairs, Fabian Benjamin, the board notes that in the course of the exercise, other cases of examination misconduct were also established, bringing the tally of examination misconduct to 92 from 81 initially discovered. While JAMB investigates cases of unverified candidates, it will soon come up with a position. The statement adds that JAMB's attention has been drawn to some fallacious publications purporting that an unknown candidate who did not sit for the board's 2024 UTME obtained scores. This, the board describes as fake, malicious, and a calculated attempt to undermine its integrity. Inauguration of Renewed Hope initiative in South-South. Details of these and more when we return. Thanks for being there. The Renewed Hope Initiative Women Agricultural Support Program and the Social Investment for Persons with Disabilities has been inaugurated in South Nigeria. The gesture, which is to further encourage farming among women for sustainable food security, was launched by the First Lady and wife of the President, Oluremi Tinubu, in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. Evelyn Badu reports.
The Renewed Hope Initiative Women Agricultural Support Program is the First Lady's initiative aimed at transforming women as contributors to agriculture sustainability while offering support that will encourage widespread farming. To this end, 20 women farmers from each state of the South-South zone will receive a sum of 500,000 naira each as an opportunity to expand agricultural ventures and contribute to local and national food production.
I urge all stakeholders, including government officials, community leaders, and non-governmental organizations, to work hand in hand to support local farmers to ensure food security in our communities and the nation at large.
Women in agriculture often face numerous challenges, including
limited access to resources, land, and education. By empowering this crop of women, we can unlock their full potentials.
The activities and programs of RHI is a paradigm shift from the usual and making lasting positive impact across 6 geopolitical zones of the country.
We thank Her Excellency for bringing all our women together, all of the First Ladies, across party lines to ensure that we deliver the dividend of democracy to our people.
About 100 persons with disabilities were financially empowered for small-scale businesses. The Renewed Hope initiative also targets advocacy illnesses like tuberculosis, as well as enhancing education for improved living conditions. In Uyo, Evelyn Badu, Ekpo, NTA News.
The time is now for the Nigerian media to be at par with what obtains globally in the areas of licensing, regulatory standards, as well as content production and dissemination. Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, Charles Ebuebu, stated this when he played host to the Director General Voice of Nigeria, Jibrin Babatundache, and his management team in Abuja. Chukunonso Nwabueze reports.
The Director General Voice of Nigeria, Von Jibril Babandache, said the visit is to consolidate on the already existing collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, as well as seek new areas of partnership in projecting positive narratives about the policies and programs of the federal government.
As Director General Voice of Nigeria, working with my team, we're very determined and we'll be very unapologetic about telling truthful, believable, and timely, consistent narrative about Nigeria and Nigeria, Africa and Africa. People are busy telling their own, and we cannot achieve this without the support of NBC.
Director General of the NBC, Charles Ebuebu, maintained that with the agency reviewing the digital switchover program, amongst other initiatives, there is no better time than now for VON and NBC to further strengthen their partnership.
In alignment with the President's agenda for us to do certain things in a certain way to achieve a deliverable result. So we all have to collaborate one way or the other, join hands together, have interagency discussions that we can pull together and achieve a singular purpose, which is to move media from what it is today to what it's supposed to be.
The two agencies also pledged to work together in the areas of content creation and information dissemination, as well as training and capacity building. Chukunonso Nwabueze, NTA News.
And on low-emission development strategy, a comprehensive document which serves as a vehicle for Nigeria's transition from greenhouse gas emission to a net zero by 2060 is being deliberated for implementation by critical players. This is to ensure Nigeria balances its socio-economic agenda with the various climate change initiatives. Charles Alpha reports.
Nigeria, as a party to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC, and as part of its commitment to the Paris Agreement, launched a comprehensive long-term low-emission development strategy, also known as the LT-LEDs, on the 1st of December 2023 at COP28 in Dubai. The document, considered as an all-encompassing instrument deposited at the UNFCCC Secretariat, serves as a long-term strategy expected to provide adequate climate finance for Nigeria.
Nigeria cancelling out all the emissions it is producing on one side and all the uptake or the sequestration or the neutralization of those carbon emissions to give us net zero is what this document contains.
The ECOWAS Commission is delighted to support the socialization of the Federal Republic of Nigeria's long-term low-emission development strategy.
Not just about the energy, but also human capital, how the human capital for tomorrow is going to be fit in terms of implementing the strategy.
Nigeria, Benin, and the Gambia are the only countries in Africa to submit this document as part of their obligation to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
And on flood mitigation, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, is convening a National Emergency Coordination Forum to brainstorm with the view to come up with lasting solutions to mitigate the likely flood disaster this year. Director General of the agency, Zubaida Umar, said the agency will continue to coordinate ideas and response strategies to reduce the impacts of the disaster. Ilyasu Yakubu reports.
Since the release of the annual predictions on seasonal climate predictions and flood outlook by NIMET and NISA, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has not rested on its oars in making frantic efforts aimed at coordinating strategies in building capacities of intervening agencies to ease the likely hazards occasioned by annual flooding. The DG NEMA said total collaboration and coordination will be the key instrument in the journey of disaster intervention and mitigation in the country.
Based on the predictions, various recommendations have been made as preparedness and mitigative actions to be taken by relevant stakeholders to reduce possible impacts.
Other speakers at the meeting commended NEMA for always living up to its responsibility of coordinating response strategies aimed at mitigating the hazards of flooding across the country. Participants were drawn from the Nigerian military, FRSC, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, the Fire Service, Nigerian Red Cross Society, United Nations, and other government agencies. In Abuja, Ilyasu Yakubu, NTA News.
Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, is calling for support for border communities in order to retain their loyalty and enhance national security. Tunji-Ojo was speaking when he received the recently appointed Executive Secretary of the Border Communities Development Agency, BCDA, Dakorina Ma George Kelly. The BCDA boss had drawn the attention of the minister to the sufferings of Nigerians living in border communities while soliciting support for their welfare.
Border communities are often neglected. They are found around the fringes and the circumference of the country. Most of them do not have basic amenities, even water. Talk less of health centers and schools.
The minister, who acknowledged the need to develop border communities, pledged the support of the Ministry of Interior and called for others to help.
When we support you and you succeed, it makes the job of the military easier. It makes the job of NSCDC easier. It even makes the job of the NIS easier. Every security agency will be, and Nigerians will have a better secured life.
The minister was later presented a document capturing the needs assessment of border communities. Now let's head straight to the Center of Excellence, where Adiola is standing by with stories making the rounds from that zone. Good evening, Adiola.
In Olajide. In order to be at par with the rest of the world in the digital space, there is need for predictable regulation to accelerate the country's digital economy. The United States Consular General to Nigeria, Will Stevens, made the revelation while addressing some of Nigeria's developmental constraints at a fire chat tagged Unleashing Potential, Thriving in the Digital Age. Lynn Leneke has details.
The emergence of artificial intelligence as the new normal globally has continued to spur nations to greater development in all sectors. This forum, therefore, is examining models aimed at creating opportunities and harnessing the potential of younger Nigerians to take advantage in acquiring training and upscaling in various technology fields.
Nigeria has been evolving in creating digital economies and digital companies. And it's really about how do we deepen and leverage what has already started and ensure that we can actually gain more as a country from that digital economy. So he shared with us some of the initiatives of the U.S. government, which is the Digital Transformation with Africa strategy.
Our governments need to invest more on infrastructure in order to attract investments from the United States in the tech space.
It's an opportunity for us to recalibrate, say, this is whom we are.
this is what we can do. Why not take advantage of it? And the people who can collaborate with easily happen to be the U.S.
The U.S. Consul General Will Stevens pointed out that uncertainties and lack of transparency create hesitation among businesses, preventing them from making long-term investment and strategic decisions.
Tech women, through USAID's programming, are working to train and provide skilling in the digital space. And we're also advocating with our companies to ensure that the skilling that they're providing is available to everyone. That there's a level playing field in the digital economy, and that it's transparent to the government so the government can make an integrated strategy.
The U.S. government's support programs is expected to provide Nigerian youth with technological learning, boost economic opportunities, create jobs, and transform lives. In Lagos, Lane Lenake, NTA News.
To health matters now. Asthma is one of the major non-communicable diseases that, if not managed well, can cause avoidable deaths. The world has dedicated every first Tuesday in the month of May to raise awareness about the disorder. This year, the focus is Asthma Education Empowers. Hingino John Adams takes it from here.
Asthma is a chronic long-term lung disease caused by inflammation and muscle tightening around the airways, thereby making breathing difficult. It affects both children and adults. Data by the World Health Organization shows that asthma affected about 262 million people and caused 455,000 deaths globally in 2019 alone. With research by Global Initiative for Asthma still showing dwindling statistics of avoidable deaths caused by the condition, experts say proper care is important.
Asthma is not only treated with medicine. Medicine is a strong point in which we used to treat asthma, but also education is a very important part. In fact, participating or discouraging air pollution in our environment and all those also play a major role in preventing asthma.
To prevent attacks, patients are advised to avoid triggers.
The citrus, your lime, your ginger, your allium sativum, which happens to be garlic. Yes, these are high anti-inflammatory. They have anti-inflammatory properties, and this can further relax those muscles and allow easy passage of the air.
Medical experts are advocating aggressive enlightenment campaigns to increase awareness on the dangers of the condition and ensure that environmentally friendly medications are also made available. In Lagos, Hingino John Adams, NTA News.
And those are contributions from Lagos. When we return from this break, it will be time for Benny Adams to do business with us. To stay.
Good to know you're here. And on Business Tonight, we bring you testimonies of impact as MSMEs in fashion space benefit from the provision of common facilities for production, which is market ready.
It's a great opportunity because as a fashion designer or a tailor that you are out there, when you consider the amount of money you spend every day to bring out a cloth, and knowing that something like this is here, you spend less and you get what you want.
Because there is a reliable light here, and there are other sophisticated machines that they don't have in their shops. That is why they are here to enjoy the facility.
Energy market oil prices ticked on Tuesday after Israel struck Rafah in Gaza, while negotiations for ceasefire with Hamas continued without resolution. Brent futures were up 46 cents at $83.79 per barrel, while the U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures rose 46 cents to $78.94 a barrel. Prices had edged upward on Monday, partially reversing the declines of last week, in which both contracts posted their steepest weekly loss in 3 months, with focus on weak U.S. jobs data and the possible timing of a Federal Reserve interest rate cut. And back in Nigeria, talking about the stock exchange, at the end of today's trading session on the exchange, a total of 425.6 million shares in 9,620 deals, corresponding to a market value of 8.348 billion naira, were traded. Today's data shows 7% decline in turnover and 9% decline in deals. The current market capitalization is 55.6 trillion naira. United Bank for Africa recorded the highest volume of 102 million traded shares, followed by Access Holdings 49.2 million and Transcap Nigeria 30.1 million. 124 equities participated in trading, ending with 15 gainers and 28 losers. Well, that is business news. Olajide is over to you.
Many thanks, Benny, and it's nice doing business with you. Talking health, there are concerted efforts in handling matters of HIV and AIDS strategies strengthened by critical stakeholders towards the prevention of the scourge in Nigeria. Salwa Khalil Ibrahim reports.
Going by available records, an estimated 1.9 million Nigerians are said to be living with HIV and AIDS. 27-year-old Karim was infected at birth and has been living with the virus. He is an advocate against stigma and call for inclusion.
A lot is done for young people, but stigma still poses a great threat to the response in the country. We have a lot of young people coming down with mental health issues.
In this part of the globe, youths are said to be at a higher risk of contracting and transmitting the virus. There is also the issue of mother-to-child transmission. It is against all these issues that the 2024 HIV Prevention Youth Conference is taking place with youths from different parts of the country.
This underscores the importance of community involvement in shaping effective prevention strategies, while ensuring access to health for those living with HIV/AIDS.
Hence, the need to reevaluate, rethink, and re-strategize HIV prevention intervention programs is the key. We can facilitate an AIDS-free generation where no child will be born HIV positive in Nigeria.
Just like Karim, many Nigerian youth are accelerating HIV prevention through innovative means to end AIDS as a public health concern by 2030. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
Meanwhile, an efficient and effective military force, medical experts say, is partly a product of healthy lifestyle and proficiency. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that physical fitness, weight management, mental health and advanced health services were major issues of discussion at the 2024 Nurses Week organized by the Defense Headquarters Medical Center.
Investing in nursing leads to improved patient outcomes, reduced healthcare costs, and a more sustainable healthcare system.
Our nurses, our future, the economic power of care.
Commander Defense Medical Center Abuja, while commending efforts of medical personnel within the military community, urged them to remain committed to achieving the mandate of protecting the territorial integrity of the nation through care services they render.
The nurses have kept faith. So on this day, we all encourage the nurses to continue to care for the sick and wounded with passion, empathy, bravery, and kindness.
As they celebrate nurses, there is the advocacy for strengthening of alliances to build relationships with medical personnel around the world and keeping abreast of modern medical services. The Nigeria Police Force says it is committed to the protection and promotion of human rights and will continue to work to ensure that activities of personnel are guided by human rights principles. Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of Force Criminal Investigation Department, Sylvester Olabisi, vs at a workshop for legal officers of the force. Francis Form reports.
These are legal officers and stakeholders in the criminal justice system, and the workshop is designed to equip them with the knowledge, skills, and expertise necessary to build an effective, efficient, and lasting human rights-based legal section.
The Inspector General of Police is deeply committed to the reform and transformation of the Nigerian Police Force into a world-class law enforcement agency that prioritizes human rights, justice, and accountability.
The workshop is a significant step towards upholding the rule of law and the protection of human dignity.
Your dedication and commitment to this noble cause are crucial in building a society that values and respects human rights.
The first thing you are supposed to do is legal compliance. The legal department is to ensure that the Nigerian Police Force operates within the bounds of the law, adhering to national legislation, constitutional provisions, and international human rights standards.
Participants are enjoined to engage in robust discussion, share best practices and experience, and explore innovative solutions to the challenges faced. Francis from NTA News.
The Nigerian Television Authority (NTA) is leveraging its wide reach to promote learning and education for effective communication skills among Nigerians. Omenka Marachiku reports that this was the position of the largest television network in Africa when its management played host to members of the Toastmasters International who were at the headquarters of the media giants on a familiarization visit.
The art of speaking to a large audience sometimes comes with some challenges, no doubt. Social commentators, however, identified some of these challenges to include fear of embarrassment, fear of being judged or evaluated, language barriers, as well as expected criticism from the audience. To assist people, especially those in the communication industry, to overcome some of these challenges, Toastmasters International, founded over 100 years ago, has been at the fore, providing lead for personal development in speaking and mentoring. Now, Toastmasters International, renowned for human capacity development, is at NTA to take advantage of its wide network to explore opportunities to advance development of public speaking.
As we speak, yes, we want it to go viral if possible. I want to write our story about this conference, and in that story, we'll say yes, NTA was a major partner for this conference, and of course, we'll remain eternally grateful for that.
Speaking to the public, talking to the public, educating the public, entertaining the public, and of course, you need the art of public speaking to convey all this, to do all this. So you are in the right place.
The discussion and outcomes of this regard demonstrated a shared commitment of both parties in enhancing socio-economic growth of the country. In Abuja, Omenka Marachiku, NTA News.
Another break beckons. The news continues shortly. Glad to know you're still there. Up next is Sports Update.
Round 32 fixtures of the Men's President Federation Cup indicates that Benden Insurance will face Wiki Tourist in Abuja on the 22nd of May 2024. Gombe United will trade tackles with El Kanemi Warriors in Kaduna. Ikorodu City of Lagos will face Coast City of Enugu in Benin City, while FC1 Rocket of Akwa Ibom will test their strength against Enyimba in Yenegua, among other matches. In table tennis, preparations are in top gear by Nigerian international Aruna Kodri, searching for his 4th Olympic Games ticket as the qualification tournament begins on the 12th of May in Kigali, Rwanda. Aruna Kodri, Ofiang Edem, Olajide Omotayo, and Fatima Bello will be representing Nigeria at the 2024 ITTF African Cup and Olympics qualification tournament. In grassroots basketball development, young basketball players between the ages of 12 and 17 have been given the opportunity to showcase their talents and be discovered at the maiden edition of Sipora Elite Basketball Slam Festival, which ended in Sangotedu. Crown Estate basketball team emerged champions of the week-long tournament, which featured 6 estates in the community.
The vision again is for the kids to get to know themselves, interact among themselves positively, and take them away from anything that is untoward, and have their sight, their vision, to conquer the world.
In tennis, Canadian international Lily Fernandez already lost her first match at the 2024 Italian Open in Rome, ranked 34th in the world. The tennis player missed out of the seeding spot at the WTA 1000 tournament in Rome. She will get to skip her first round match and start in the second round. With sports update, Olumide Eguntola, NTA News.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has condoled with the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, over the death of his elder brother, Saliu Ahmadu Ribadu. The president, through a delegation led by his chief of staff, Femi Gbajabiamila, described the death of Saliu Ahmadu Ribadu as a great loss not only to the people of Adamawa State, but the country as a whole. Simon Asha reports.
Sympathizers from all walks of life trooped into the family compound of the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, to condole with him and the family over the death of his elder brother, Dr. Saliu Ahmadu Ribadu. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, through a high-powered delegation led by his chief of staff, also condoled with the National Security Advisor and the people of Adamawa State. He described the death of Dr. Saliu Ahmadu Ribadu as a great loss, not only to the immediate family, but the state as a whole because of his contributions to humanity.
Malam Nuhu Ribadu is someone who plays an integral part in the running of this government. And there's nothing, there's no words that can console you when you lose a loved one, except to accept the will of Allah.
Lawan Ribadu, who spoke on behalf of the family, thanked President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the show of concern and prayed Allah to reward him abundantly. Dr. Saliu Ahmadu Ribadu, a veterinary doctor, died at the age of 68 and left behind a wife, 12 children and 10 grandchildren, among other relatives, in Yola. Simon Asha, NTA News.
The remains of manager administration at the Nigerian Television Authority, Bauchi, Hadiza Bukar, has been laid to rest in accordance with the Islamic teachings. The late manager admin passed away in a hospital 6 days after her mother's death. Awal Abdullahi reports.
This is the funeral prayer of the NTA manager administration, Hadiza Bukar, after which she was buried at the Muslim cemetery in Bauchi. The late Hadiza Bukar was described as a trustworthy, dedicated and diligent person to her responsibilities.
She's a very hardworking woman, a gentle woman, a generous woman, a woman that carries everybody along, a woman that always looking for somebody that is looking for help, and she helps.
She has touched a lot of lives, especially in NTA Bauchi. It's a shock that is coming to us at this point. Most of us hearing this news is unbelievable. But we know that it's the way that we must go, and it has come, so we accept it that way.
Died at the age of 50, late Hadiza Bukar is a person that both her colleagues and family members said they will continue to remember for her proper guiding skills and sympathizing attitudes. In Bauchi, Awal Abdullahi, NTA News.
And up next is the weather forecast.
Early morning thunderstorms are expected across parts of Ebonyi, Enugu, Imo, Abia, Anambra, and the coastal cities. The remaining parts of the country is expected to have patches of cloud with lots of sunshine to the northern region. Late morning into afternoon thunderstorms are expected to swift across the southern region, extending to parts of Plateau, FCT, Kwara, Kogi, Benue, Southern Adamawa, Taraba, and Kaduna State. Let's see how this weather affects the temperatures. I'm Safia Senyinusa. Thank you for watching.
And that's it on the network news. Many thanks for being a part of it. I am Olajide Bello.